Legends. That's another fucking show you're putting on the thing. I'm cutting off. What? Okay. I started recording mid like rant about fucking Cobra Kai. We're talking about Spider-Man.
Woo! I was like,
I'm
oh
leaving
shit,
all,
the numbers are counting down.
I'm leaving all that in. Leaving all of that in. All right. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, new Marvel show. Ben, Marvel made a good show.
I know. Like, I was surprised, Like, the first 5 episodes, I'm like,
You
okay, this is
skipped
going to
them.
be
You
just,
didn't watch them.
yeah. They're like, all right, it's going to be like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the spectacular Spider-Man for people who know. I thought it was going to be like
Big
that.
time throwback.
Yeah. I think it was Disney. Yeah. I think it was Disney XD. One of the greatest intros of all time, I got to say.
Long time ago.
But no, I thought it was going to be like that. And then around episode 5 or 6, it took a turn. And I'm like, okay, this is actually a Marvel show. Holy shit.
It's
This
a
is
good
good.
ass show. It's a
Yeah.
good ass
Yeah.
show. I
Mm-hmm.
actually wasn't watching it. I was like, I happened to be watching it because I was full of new year, new me energy. And I was like, I'm going to watch all the Marvel shows, even this shitty one they're putting out. I was like, actually, this is fucking good. Ben, watch it. Ben said, fuck you. And I said, Ben, watch it anyway. And he said, I
And
will
I
watch it
watched
if
it
you watch
anyway.
featuring Cobra Kai. And I was like,
Yeah. No, but yeah, it did surprise me. I thought it was gonna be like a just normal animated show that they did years past. Marvel's done really good with animated shows. I kind of want to see more animated shows. I haven't seen X-Men '97,
yeah, me neither.
but I've heard good things about that. Um, I think Marvel should do more animated stuff. I think they shouldn't be afraid. I mean, what if? What if is good.
Yeah,
I
I was
like
going to
what
say,
if. It's what if Spider Verse obviously is Sony, but Marvel's helps is associated.
yeah.
It's not Kevin Feige, but Marvel does help.
Yeah, it's the Deadpool writers and all those
Yeah.
animation people.
So it's like every for the most part, every animated thing that they've done in Marvel, for the most part, I've liked. And I think they should do more animated stuff to kind of shake it up because you've got such a good foundation. You've got such a strong foundation with Endgame, Infinity War, all that. It's gonna be really hard. I'm gonna see what they do for Doomsday and Secret Wars, but I think you should kind of go into the animation stuff, and I think that'd be very interesting.
I think this is a nice little thing they've added to it. I think Marvel might finally be figuring out how to do shows. They really jumped into that. They're like, we're going to do shows now, and we're going to pump out like a bunch of them, like WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye. These shows are all just coming at you. And some of them are good, admittedly. Like, I actually like WandaVision more than most people.
I like
I like
WandaVision too. I like Hawkeye. Hawkeye's
I was
great.
gonna
Yeah.
say I like Hawkeye a good bit. I don't know if this is necessarily like my favorite Marvel show that they've done, but it is certainly on in that upper half for me. It's really, really good. And what's fun, actually, I wanted to ask you, what did you think of the animation style they used for it?
I like that they're trying to be different, but not too different.
Yeah,
Again, that's exactly what I thought Spectacular Spider-Man because it's very like similar kind of animation style. It was like 2D, but not 2D. Sometimes it was 3D, but it was 2D.
yeah,
I don't know what that's called, but it's kind of like it gives the comic book feel, and that's where I
yeah.
think they really did right with this series. Yeah,
I think it was like quasi Spider Verse inspired, but different. Like Spider Verse is like literally comic book inspired kind of
yeah,
movie, and this is like kind of it looks more like comic book, but it's kind of they move differently, and it has like kind of an awkward 3 dimensional quality to it. Um, I think that and certainly like I think it kind of has the same. I think the Spider Verse animation is better. They're really breaking a ton of new ground with that, and there's like a bunch of visual metaphors that are built into that, which is just mind boggling. But this one I think works well, and then what it shares in quality with the Spider Verse animation, I think, is that when you're watching it, you notice like this kind of looks a little off, and then within like a couple minutes you've adjusted, and you don't really notice anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, I
It
think
it
the show.
it only really bothered me the first episode, and then once I got past the first episode, I'm like, okay, I'm used to this. This is
Yeah, I like that this show has like first of all, I'm cool. Like it references like other things that are happening, like the Sokovia Accords get brought up a decent amount, and Ross, and you get to see Iron Man. But it's also feels like it's not probably not the exact same universe as the MCU proper films, but
It's definitely not. Yeah.
like it still feels like a full lived-in universe that has a whole bunch of different characters, but it doesn't feel like bogged down by all their like arcs and stuff. It's just like, hey, we just show it's Spider-Man. Of course, Norman Osborn's in there. We get to meet Harry Osborn. And also, look, we're introducing Tombstone. He's our main character, but in the background, we've got Daredevil's doing stuff and Doc Ock's doing stuff. We got this group over here, and we got the Scorpion over here. We got a million different things that are going on. And all of them have time for extra things if you want to do that in the future. And in particular, in the last episode, you get to see like it kind of montages through all the things and makes you excited for season 2. I hope they do a season 2. I would love more of this show without
They
it being
set
like
up so good season 2. Season 2
they're
would
not
be
like
so good.
everyone's the main villain. They've all got an arc. They've all got a bash. I was like, no, this is a cool character that's here and doing shit, and we'll get back to them later, maybe. We decided who our characters were like. All right, we got Peter, his group of friends, Tombstone, Osborn. That's it. And then we've got all these other people in there that add to the show in a big way, I thought. So yeah, and as you know, I love Daredevil. And actually, speaking of, the first 2 episodes of Daredevil dropped. I haven't watched them because I'm still watching through season 3. But I've heard good things, and maybe
The first
Marvel.
episode, I've only watched the first episode, and dude, it's like the same as the old show. Like
Marvel might
same.
Marvel might be
Yeah.
back. Marvel
They might
might be back.
Yeah.
Captain America certainly is not as good as this show or the or any season of Daredevil anywhere near. How dare you? But
It was solid though. It was solid. Yeah.
it was good. But it was good, and Marvel might be coming back. So
That's why people don't like. They need to realize that not every movie pre-Endgame was like Endgame. You know, the problem with being the best is you set the bar so high for everything you do later. You're gonna have movies that flop. Now, Marvel didn't have this many movies flop in like before Endgame. You know, they didn't have this many movies flop before Endgame.
yeah,
I think you could argue Thor 2 and the First Hulk was the only 2 that flopped, but you go back and you rewatch those, and they're still solid movies if they come out today. You know,
yeah.
that's how
well,
good
Thor 2 is
Marvel
questionable,
was.
but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's better than Love and Thunder,
I can kind of agree with you.
but this is a good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the show, they finally did Doc Ock exactly how he looks in the comics, and he looks so much better.
Let's see. Oh, I haven't seen the comics, but I played a Spider-Man friend or foe on the Xbox 360. Looks just like that. That's what Doc Ock looks like.
It's like it's like menacing, but also like a nerd, and that's what like he's Doctor Octopus. Like that's what he's supposed to be. You know, like when he's attacking you, like shoot, I'm scared. But when he's not attacking you, it's like, okay, this guy looks smart, you know, but like he can't hurt me. But that's how quick because he's a maniac, you know. I love the glasses, man, and the bowl cut too.
Yeah. I like the I gotta say I liked Norman Osborn in this show. I thought he was damn good. I enjoyed him a lot. I thought what was really cool was they found obviously they're sticking with like the Uncle Ben's not really in this show, but and actually I saw some people had a big problem with that. It didn't really bother me.
I didn't care, yeah.
There's
We've
some people like, we
seen
love
Uncle Ben
Uncle Ben. That's great. Why are you not putting Uncle Ben in your show? Like, whatever. We got a really good version of Uncle Ben and a not very
We've
good
seen
version of
that too
Uncle Ben.
much.
But yeah, I liked him a lot. He's kind of like Peter's father figure in this area. You feel a lot more like Peter talking to Norman Osborn is like a very young person talking to an older person. The biggest like problem with the early Spider-Man movies and Sam Raimi is that Tobey Maguire just does not look like a high schooler. And there's just no two ways about that. He just looked like a grown man.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Yeah, really. Like he looks like a full. And the upside of animation is that you can make him look as young as you want. And he just it feels a lot more like a kid talking to an adult, and it feels much more like a father son, not necessarily father son, but like parental a father figure kind of relationship going on.
Yeah, I like this universe that they use because it's like we know something's going to happen with Norman Osborn, like when he's introduced, just because of the Spider-Man knowledge, you know? But in the show, he's actually being a good father figure to him. And then towards the end of the show, you're like, okay, so it's shady, you know? But he is like, he kind of unlocked Peter's confidence. That's the thing. He helped him out. He gave him the suit. He taught him how to be a hero. But he's also Norman Osborn, and he's greedy and selfish. Like
Yeah, and
it
he
was
has
kind
like
of
it's clearly
a
very
perfect contrast. Like
clearly very pro Sokovia Corps. It's like he's not super big on like the superheroes doing whatever they want to do. And he's like taking some blood from Peter when he gets beat up. He's kind of leaving Peter hanging a little bit when he's getting his ass kicked by the Scorpion to zero in on Doc Ock and get his gloating in. And also has a really nice little twist on with great power comes great responsibility. He kind of like flips it on its head a little bit. With great power comes great respect, which is a whole other angle to take of that and add Spider-Man's character arc in a new way. I was like, I think that's pretty cool. That's kind of awesome.
I love what shows, especially as popular as Spider-Man. There's been so many different variations of Spider-Man. I love when you figure out new things to do, you know? And you're like, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin is going to be your mentor. Also, great Easter egg. Every single shot, Norman Osborn's wearing some type of green. Great Easter egg. I love that.
I'm all about it. I gotta say, I can't believe I haven't brought this up yet. One of my favorite characters in the show was Tombstone. I thought that was a really good characterization. He's the guy they flip it. First of all, he's like, he fucking stole Peter's girl. He fucking stole Pearl.
Yeah.
He was like,
but turns out he's a nice guy.
Yeah. Cool guy who like knows about science, is a smart guy, is also a football player, but like kind of because of his situation that he's in, gets pulled into something and then kind of gets strong armed into it. There's only so much he can do. And then at a certain point, he becomes responsible for what's going on. But at that point, he's already so locked into it that he can't do much about it anymore. Or he could, but he doesn't want to anymore. And
that's another thing that's another thing that they changed. God damn it.
Go. I don't give a fuck.
That's another thing that they changed.
Tombstone actually really likes I'm sorry.
You son of... No, like, we're like, okay, this is the bully. This is the jock, we're not supposed to root for him. And you're like, okay, no, I'm actually smart and I'm actually a really nice guy. And I'm going to be friends with you, Peter. I'm not going to make you do everything. You're my lab partner. And you're like one of the smartest people I know. So I'm going to learn from you. And in return, I'm going to invite you to all the cool kid parties. I'm like, we're supposed to hate this guy? He was like one of my favorite characters until he got involved, with I forgot what the gang name is called.
Big Don. There's like something else. That's the big guy,
131 right? Or something like this. Yeah, it's the one. It's something. But until he got involved, he was like one of my favorite characters. He's still up there. He just made some questionable decisions.
Yeah, of course. But that's the nature of it.
They also do a good job of like, hey, everybody made bad decisions on this show at one point, but you can't really root against too many people on the show. I think the only one you can really root for or root against is Doc Ock, because Doc Ock didn't, like, he's playing games and he's causing chaos and he's evil. Yeah. He's playing games on his computer.
I really fucking hate that gang leader, like Big Don, I think his name is, the big fat ass.
Oh, Big Don too. You can 100% root against Big Don. Yeah,
God, I hate that guy. I hate that guy so much.
But everybody else, like,
you can see
Norman Osborn, you're like, he's always been about power and respect, and he's done some shady things, but he's also done really good things for Peter,
Yeah.
And like, he's helped a lot. Harry just wants a friend, and Peter's the first, like, not fake friend that he's found, and he's gonna keep, and he's gonna be loyal, and he's a nice guy,
He thinks Nico is hot.
Well, yeah.
And he's not wrong.
Nico's just losing her friend. Nico's just losing her friend, and she just wants Peter back. That's all it is. And so it's like, she irritated me a couple times, but at the same time, I'm like, Peter's just like disappearing, and she doesn't know, like, his closest friend, he didn't tell, but he told Harry Osborn,
Which isn't totally fair, but it's like, it's also like, is he supposed to tell you now because Harry does know?
It's not fair, but it's also like, I understand why she's mad,
Yeah, of course. But she's also got some shit going on with like her necklace, right? Some seance shit that she can do.
Exactly. I gotta look it up. What relation she is to, like, a comic book character and what she's going to turn out to be. It reminds me of like, was it the Lucky Girl in Deadpool 2? I think that's what she might be.
Domino.
Domino. She could be Domino because, I mean, it made sense. It made sense. It makes
Dude, Domino's so cool.
I love Domino. That's like one of my favorite characters in Deadpool 2.
I
But
love Domino.
something like that, it seems like, because anytime that lit up, her luck just went her way, you know?
Yeah.
It could be. But
or
she
like
could,
something
she also
intervened
could
on
be
her
something else.
behalf.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
She almost fucked up Harry's car
Yeah.
in a
But,
big way.
Yeah. I think this show did a good job of having a lot of characters, like you said. Like not main characters, but a lot of characters that could be your favorite, and not a lot where you're like, okay, this is bad. You're supposed to root for the bad guy. This is the good guy. You're supposed to root for the good guy. Peter probably isn't a lot of people's favorite character in the show, and that's how you know it's a good show. You know,
Yeah.
like Peter is just Spider-Man. That's all it is.
Yeah. Like
But-
I'm rooting for Peter for
yeah.
sure, but it's like,
Yeah. But he's not my favorite character.
yeah.
You know, I like
And
I
also-
like Harry. I like Harry's character better than Peter. You know.
The one of the other things it does, like it does all the little things really well. Like it doesn't have any like stupid lines in there. It doesn't have any like all the characters making decisions. It makes sense why that character would make that decision. And that sounds stupid to say, but there are so many movies where it's like, why would you do that? Or like, this person
Mhm.
wouldn't do that. Like when Norman Osborn is about to turn on the crazy like teleporter machine, they're like, this is fucking stupid. This is so many things could go wrong here. Why would you do this? Norman Osborn was like, oh, come on, don't be spineless. This is how we break through the next level. I don't have a lot of experience with the comic book material, but I love the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, and I know that Norman Osborn there was like, hey, I'm running out of time here. I'm going to just test this on me, all right? This will be fine. It'll work or it won't. It's like, he's the kind of guy to push it. He would do that. He absolutely would. Whole bunch of stuff like that I thought worked. And also got to see Iron Man in there again.
Yeah, that was cool.
Someone
Yeah.
did a pretty good RDJ impression.
Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and it tied together from the beginning. It's like it went full circle.
It's I love that they put in like very similar, like what came first, the chicken or the egg, you know?
Yeah.
It was kind of that argument because the spider that bit Peter came from Peter's blood. So it's like,
Yeah, it's the one that Norman
Huh.
made.
yeah,
It's true.
yeah.
So how did that happen?
That's, you know, the shoot, what's that?
How did that spider originally exist if Peter was never bitten by it to create the spider that
Exactly.
came through? But if that
So
didn't
it's,
happen, then yeah.
It's
Paradox.
Paradox. That's what it's called. It's a cool, it tied together really well. And I liked it. That's the guy that saved the school. And then Doctor Strange's like, what are you talking about? Turns out that
Yeah.
was before he saved the school, but it was, I like the ending a lot, you know? They ended it very well. They set it up. They tied everything together. You were left with questions, but you're not like
Yeah.
confused, you know? You know everything that's going on and you're hopeful for what's going to happen, but
I think it sets
everything
up
that
a
was
really
going
good
on in
season
episode
2.
1 through 9. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because like this season, like there's not really what you would call a story going on. It's kind of like events happening in order. Characters are kind of going through journeys, you would say. Like Peter's
Yeah.
kind of discovering himself. We're learning more about Norman Osborn. We're trying to catch Doc Ock and Scorpion is fucking people up. But it's like life is going on. This is the world of superheroes and crazy shit happens in the world of superheroes. But it sets up a bunch of pieces in place where it's like Peter is here now. He doesn't know if he wants to keep working with Norman Osborn, so he's got like a new company with Harry and Nico now. Norman Osborn is going to kind of try and continue what's going on. He's presumably still got Peter's blood. Something's going on with Doc Ock in prison, maybe similar to what happened with Kingpin. Daredevil is still out there with his spy who was working with them the whole time, with that girl from Wakanda, or not the girl from Wakanda, the other one. And Tombstone is now the head honcho of this gang, who's related and is Peter's relationship with Pearl. Like there's a lot of really good pieces here where I'm like, I would love to see just a really great story in season 2. This is a great setup season. It's a fun season. I'm really glad they did this. This is a lovely little piece to the MCU that they added, and I'm really happy they did.
I looked it up before I said this, but it is perfectly like the entire tone of the season. It's literally freshman year of high school, you know? And
Yeah.
Peter,
It was originally going to be
it up.
called Spider-Man Freshman Year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Peter was a freshman throughout this whole show. If you think about what happened this season, it's literally freshman year of high school. You're figuring it out, you're trying to fit in, you're trying to mature, but you're still young, you got stuff to figure out. You're battling a lot of new things, a lot of new, or a lot more responsibilities on your plate, So you're trying to figure it out. It did almost like the entire season one's freshman year, And I hope they go like year by year. I think that'd be really cool if they go
I'd be
year
up
by
for
year high
that.
school. 4 seasons and then just done with the show. I'd be okay. I'd be okay
Yeah,
if you
that's
want to
fine.
do college. If you keep making the shows like just like season one, if
And it's
not
still
better,
good. Let's keep doing it.
you can make as much seasons as you want because
Yeah.
yeah, this is great. And they got so much content. That's the Spider-Man's got so many villains, but they also like had so many like the script was beautiful because they had so many things that they mentioned but didn't, elaborate on. And you can do that without making it too obvious, and without reaching. You
They
don't have to
recreated that.
show.
Yeah, they recreated that whole scene from Civil War, except it was Norman Osborn instead of Tony Stark. That kicked ass. I was all about that. This is how Marvel gets the rights to Spider-Man back. Just to be an asshole and be this guy. This season of television that they made is better than any of the movies that Sony made with Spider-Man post Amazing Spider-Man 1. Because it's better than Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it's also better than all those like bullshit villain Spider-Man villain movies. I'm not gonna say I don't like the Venom movies. I do like those movies, but this season is better than those movies. It's also better than Morbius. It's better than Madam Web, not a high bar. Better than Kraven the Hunter, really not a high bar. I'm gonna all the live action movies, and I'm gonna put that qualifier on it now because I'm ready for you to say Spider-Verse. I like it better than all of those movies.
Are you saying that this is better than No Way Home?
I'm choosing to qualify that as an MCU movie and not a Sony exclusive movie.
Fair enough. Okay, I was about to say that was
But
what
it
my
is.
look was for. Tune in next time.
Before Chad and Ben fight to the death.
No, but I would agree. I would say I like this better than Amazing Spider-Man 2. It did what Amazing Spider-Man 2 did. Amazing Spider-Man 2 could have had a third one if they didn't have to. You didn't have to elaborate on everything you mentioned. You could leave stuff to question.
Yeah, that's where they fucked up. They're like, okay, we were gonna have not only are we gonna have 4 villains, but all of them are gonna have their own backstory. All of them are going to like tie into it kind of, but not really. Like you had like freaking Electro, who is just a bad idea. Like you should not have cast Jamie Foxx to be Electro if that's what you were gonna do with the character. Worked much better in No Way Home, even though No Way Home sucks. And then like you have Harry Osborn. I think all the scenes with Andrew Garfield and Harry Osborn are good, but I don't think the character 100% makes sense, and we don't get enough time with him because we're spending time with Electro and the fucking Rhino for some reason.
Okay, save Harry for the third Spider-Man. Introduce him in the second one. You don't have to introduce him and make him the villain in the same movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was also like, I've got this disease that's going to like turn me into a goblin or that's killing my dad. Help me, Spider-Man, save me right now. Save me. It's like, how your dad was like 40, 50. You've got time here, okay? You don't need like to press my
you're not helping me right now. You're not my enemy.
Give me
your
blood.
No friends.
Give me your blood this week, or I'm gonna I'm gonna do this crazy extreme thing on myself. What?
No. But no, I with the exception of the Spider-Verse, obviously I think the Spider-Verse is better. That's like one of the greatest animated movies of all time. That's just what it is.
But they had a whole like universe of like Spider-Man villains movies that they were making. And they're all, let's be real, they're all bad. They're all bad movies.
They're all bad.
Yeah.
I liked Morbius. It was still bad, but
I like the Venom movies. I like all 3 Venom movies, but none of them is what you would call
all 3 Venom movies I liked, but they were all bad, Yeah. I like to laugh at Kraven.
Honestly, I don't like Kraven's a bad movie, but if we got all the boys together and we could turn on Kraven right now. This will be fun.
Me and Haley were side-eyeing each other the entire movie, and we were the only people laughing in the theater because we knew that this was going to be bad. And no one else in the theater knew, and they were all pissed. Because it was a terrible movie.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's like laughably bad. It's like, what the fuck? If you have not seen me and Ben didn't care so much that we only talked about Kraven for like 7 minutes and then spent like 30, 40 minutes talking about other shit. we were like, we're going to record an episode about Craven. And then we just really didn't. We talked about it for a little bit. It was like, yeah, we don't really have much to say. We don't care. It's bad.
In one of the most menacing parts of the movie, the line was, "Skip to the part where I actually give a shit." And one of the biggest parts of the movie.
Yeah. Can we please? Please? Oh my God. So yeah, new Spider-Man show. It's good. Daredevil's coming out or is out soon. We're gonna do episodes on season 2 and season 3. Oh my God, Chad and Ben, you're not gonna review Daredevil Born Again in time. First of all, we're not watching all of the Marvel Netflix shows. Fuck those shows. 2,
Yeah.
we don't have to talk about Daredevil Born Again until it's done. So we've got time.
Yeah.
Not that we'll do it on time, but we're not late yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. We're not late yet. And I have to watch Cobra Kai. Fine. Yeah, I'll watch the 6 seasons of fucking
Cobra Kai. Think of the perfect ending. In your mind, don't say it. Think of the perfect ending to Cobra Kai. That's what it is. It was like, I was surprised. I was like, everything that I wanted to happen that I didn't think could happen, happened. Like, this writing was perfect.
So actually, let me get your take on this. We'll do a little spoiler-free Cobra Kai because I haven't seen it. I have seen some like spoiler-free reviews for the first. There's 15 episodes, right? So the first 5 episodes, and then the next second 5 episodes. The review I saw said that those episodes were some of the worst Cobra Kai stuff.
I mean, that's a very high bar. The first 5, I would agree, but I mean, saying that this is the worst episodes of Cobra Kai doesn't really mean anything because Cobra Kai, every single season is good, you know? There's better seasons, but every single season is like really enjoyable. Yeah. And when you think about a 15 episode season, and they broke it up into 3 parts, you know? The first 5 is probably not gonna be the best, you know?
I just refused. I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. There was like very little content that they had to work with how the season was going to go. And they still made it good, you know? Like the first 5 episodes were not hard to get through. There wasn't a lot going on, but they were not hard to get through. Second 5, now we're getting somewhere. Final 5, you're like, oh, now we're getting somewhere. This is the finale. But yeah, the first 5, I mean, yeah, I don't want to say what they're doing, but not a lot that they had to work with, and they still made it enjoyable, you know? So
it's good to me. I'll check it out. One day.
Yeah.
I have to finish catching up on Daredevil, but I'm caught up on Invincible, so that's done. So I'll catch up on Daredevil, and then...
I got to catch up on Invincible.
Yeah, and then I'll catch up on Reacher and Cobra Kai, and then...
I haven't started Reacher season 3, but...
I'll freaking...
1 and 2 is great.
And then it's April, and then we have to do Last of Us and Andor. There's so much. We're happy to talk about TV. This is mostly the movies channel, but we like TV too. Oh my God. It is so much harder than TV.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We had like 2 movies we wanted to talk about today that we're not going to get to because we had to talk about Spider-Man. But maybe we will next week. Maybe we won't. I know Mickey 17 is next week. I think Novocaine is next week.
Novocaine comes out next week, yeah.
Yeah, so there's something no, there's not. It's Mickey 17. Watching Invincible, they played Mickey 17 trailers, and like the Hey Mickey song has been stuck in my head like constantly.
No, it was, yeah. It's a recommendation, man.
Like, I haven't seen it yet, yeah. But I like Robert Pattinson.
Dude,
I haven't seen Twilight, but I do like Robert Pattinson.
This is probably and I've only seen Robert Pattinson in like 4 things. This is like on par in terms of his performance with how he was in the Batman. Like with his individual performance as an actor. You're like, okay, this guy could actually act. If you watch Twilight and then watch Mickey 17 and the Batman, you're like, the range is crazy.
Yeah, I've only seen him in Harry Potter, and
I didn't even mention Harry Potter.
Yeah, he's dead as shit. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Dead. All right.